Hey everyone, Magicer here. I wanted to quickly express how powerful I think true love is and how I feel like today's society is kind of, dragging down people for loving who they love. And so I wanted to make this video as kind of a tribute to that because I recently heard that one of my favorite YouTubers, Pkrussl, recently got a new furry girlfriend. In fact, here she is. Wow, and in case you're wondering, the credit for this goes to Cheshire Cat Smile 37. But anyways, I think that people haven't really been taking people seriously just because of who they love, and I think that's wrong. So today I'm going to make an image that will hopefully empower people like Pkrussl to come out and share their true love stories of their furry girlfriends. Let's get started, shall we? Hoorah. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna unlock that layer and we're gonna create a new adjustment layer. If I can remember where the fuck I keep those things. Where the fuck do I keep them? Fuck. There we go. Hey. We're gonna attach that right there. I don't know why I didn't have that before. And this can go ahead and come up. So, what we're gonna first add is we're gonna add a curves control layer, which will allow us to lower the contrast, because in order to make things truly good you have to lower the contrast a little bit. So we're going to bring the darks up, we're going to bring the whites down, lower the contrast. May look bad right now, but you know what, we're going to fix that later. So the next thing we're going to add is a levels adjustment layer. What we're going to do is we're going to drag this that way, further lowering the contrast, and drag that one this way a little bit to brighten it up a little bit. There we go. Doesn't that look fucking fantastic? And now we're gonna add the actual power of the image, the thing that will give it the talking point. So we're gonna take this furry right here, we're gonna Control A that shit, and we're gonna, I forgot to Control C that shit, then we're gonna come over here, Control V that shit. And oh my god, it's a little big, ain't it? There we go. Now, we're gonna find a size that makes it work correctly. That's almost big enough. Hey, that's about the same size. No, not. A little bit bigger. There we go. Look at that. Ain't that just beautiful? Alright, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna place her right there. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and edit. We're gonna transform that shit by flipping it vertically. That's not what I meant to do. Flip that horizontally. Hey, there we go. And now we've got Pkrussl and his furry girlfriend right here. We're gonna have her off to the side a little bit. There we go. Doesn't that just look fantastic already? But we're not done yet, people. There's still more we gotta do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna zoom in and try to match the what is it called? The noise of Pkrussl's original image to this image. So we're gonna go to filter. We're gonna we're gonna go to noise, add noise. We're gonna make that Gaussian and monochromatic. When we do that, monochromatic. So when we do that, that'll allow us to be able to shrink it down a little bit, and it looks like that's gonna be almost maybe a 0.8, a little bit more, 0.2, 1.2. There we go. Already, it's starting to look truly magnificent, ain't it? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a mask. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the pen tool right here. We're gonna zoom on in here. The way I prefer to do it is I prefer to minimize that out, and I prefer to just take and just like that. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go up to here, select, not like that, paths. We're gonna go ahead and make that a selection with a radius, or sorry, with a feather of 1 pixel, and there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go select, and mask, and by doing that, that allows us to see how it's going to get masked out. And already, that looks pretty darn good, I think, except for the fact that... Turn this into new layer with layer mask, and by doing that, that'll create us as a new layer with a layer mask. This one we can just move to the bottom here. What is cool about this is that we are able to go into here in the mask, and if you select a black, you can refine the edge. Isn't that amazing? We're not doing that, obviously, but so doing this, we can fix anything that we were having issues with, such as over here on his hair, because I totally forgot that I wanted her ear behind his head, because otherwise it doesn't look very realistic. Basically the same thing we did before. We're gonna go ahead and turn that off, however. And go just like, oh fuck, I forgot to make that selection. Fucking hell. And by doing that now, we can go onto here and we can just go ahead and scribble that shit out. We're gonna do the same thing for his fucking ear. Alright, so now that we've got everything situated, what we can do now is, we were having issues with the hair up here, so what we can do is we can go into our layer mask right here. So go into your legacy brushes, go into assorted brushes, and what you guys are going to want to find is the starburst. And what you guys want to do is use the brush to kind of restore his hair. Look at that. So we're going to click here. We're going to create two more things. We're going to create two curve adjustments. For the first one, you want to invert it. For both of them, you want to invert it. For this one right here, you want to select multiply as the blending option. For this one, you want to select screen. Alt-click both of these, and that'll attach it to this layer. And on the one that says multiply, it creates more shadow, and for the one that says screen, it creates more light. Okay, so you go up to your brush opacity, turn it down to a cool 25%, and when you do that, that'll allow you to create highlights that aren't too like extreme. What we want to identify is, where is the light coming from on this image? If you look at his hand, you can tell the light is coming from right here. So it's going this way, because there's also a highlight on his forehead here and his cheek here, which means it's coming more from up. So it's going that way. What you guys want to do is go back into your image, click on whichever one you want to start working on. I prefer to go with the shadows first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shadow anything that's on this side of her. So actually I'm going to turn my brush down. So now that I've done my shadows, don't worry if they're like super fleshed out right now. They'll blend in with the image later. Then you want to go into your other one and do the same thing. So now I'm doing my highlights. And just like that, there we go. So now that it's a little bit more tuned to the color, what we want to do is grab these two layers, go ahead and copy them, and go into Gaussian blur, and you want to blur it by quite a bit. 60 pixels. Shadows a little bit more. So like I'm gonna do 120 pixels. Turn them down to 40 to 50%. And by doing that, it still looks super intense right now. Go into adjustments, and we're gonna create vibrance. Turn down saturation, can go -50. Because what we're gonna do, color balance, you want that is pretty much all I'm gonna do with this image. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to support the power of true love, and don't judge anyone based on what they love. If Pkrussl wants to love a furry girl, he is totally allowed to do so. There's nothing wrong with him loving her so long as she loves him. And you know what? I think that's fucking beautiful. Have a good day.